Hello guys, welcome to In This Kitchen. This is a Kenna in the kitchen, guys. Today I just made this yummy meat pie that you will love. Guys, it's actually been long that I made this meat pie, but I had time to edit and post this today. Can you look at how yummy this meat pie is? You know what? Just come with me, guys. Let me take you on the journey of how we made this yummy meat pie. I think I was aiming to make up to 6 or more of meat pie. So I use about 4 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. Typically, I have to use this sieve to sieve it properly. That kind of adds to the crispiness by the time you are done. And after that, I don't always add sugar to my meat pie. I would tell you guys this, but I added, of course, some nutmeg and I added some pinch of salt. And now I'm just added about, I think I use about 200 grams of butter just to make sure that I have the right balance of flour and of course butter. So what I have to do right now is to keep mixing. I have to mix the butter and the flour on the floor, of course, until it becomes very floury. That way you are very sure that the texture of the meat pie will be well crispy by the time you are done. And as it is now, I am almost done mixing my butter with, of course, my all-purpose flour and the spices I added. You can see how it's looking now. It's looking quite floury. And we are done with that. I'm gonna just create some space in the middle of the bowl now, and add some water and begin to mix gradually. Guys, remember the texture of meat pie is totally different from texture of other, maybe when you're making chin chin or something. So you have to mix softly, don't over mix it. And by the time you are done, wrap it up in maybe a plastic bag, set aside in a room temperature or maybe in the fridge for about 10 minutes if you have time. But then, of course, you guys know I will also be making the sauce I need. Here I've got my carrots, my mixed meat, my potato, and of course, as you can see, I am blending my white onion. Oh my God, this white onion looks really good. And now I'm using my chopper to chop my carrots. Typically, I used to use knife to cut my carrot into squares, but I just want to use my chopper this time to, get it a bit more diced. Is it diced or something? I'm not sure the right word to use. But now my carrot is ready. I'm going to set it aside. The next thing I'm going to do, as I've got my carrot and onion ready, is, of course, so chop a little bit of garlic I'm going to use for frying because I want to give it some really good flavor, not just from the onion, but also from garlic. I know a lot of people don't like garlic, but I do like garlic. Now what I'm doing is just chopping my Irish potato. Guys, this is one of the things that makes the inside meat pie to be quite creamy once you're able to dice your Irish potato very well before you start, making the sauce. Now we have headed to my stove. As you guys can see, my mixed meat is there, my carrot is there, my potato is there, and of course my chopped onion is there too. Of course, I've got some spices set aside there too. Yeah, I've just shown you guys everything, but you know what? We are first of all going to start with the garlic. Like I said before, the garlic is just meant to give the frying some flavor. I've just added my chopped onion. Realize, guys, that the chopped onion was well chopped and it produced its flavor, like the juice very well. I added some seasoning right now, and what I'm gonna do next is, of course, keep stirring. Next that will go in will be my mixed meat. Now I've got I'm not sure what this is called, but this is what I'm using to make sure that I was able to mix the meat and other things very well while the meat continued to cook. While the meat is cooking, while the meat is cooking, we are also I've added now my Irish potato. I've also added my carrots, and I cooked it for a bit, and I didn't show that part in the video. Before, of course, I added before I added the all-purpose flour to thicken it a bit, and I covered it to allow to cook well. As you guys can see, it's well cooked already, and I've set it aside to get cold. Guys, I left my dough to stay longer than 10 minutes, but that's still okay. So right now, what I'm doing is to mold my meat pie the exact way I want it. I've got my egg set, I've got my egg ready, and as you can see, I use the cover of my pot to cut my dough to that meat pie shape we always love. And now, of course, I'm using my fork again to make sure I press the edges to give it that beautiful look we always want to see. But you know what? Beyond this beautiful look is a very, very tasty, yummy meat pie you're going to have. So I think at the end, I got about 7 or 8 meat pie, and I used the rest dough to make buns, if I can remember. And as you can see, guys, this is the best way you can mold your meat pie. There's no fast through or ways you can make your meat pie. Yeah, you guys can see I got about 7. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I got 7 meat pie, very big ones, not medium size, actually big. Now it's time to put my egg, use my egg to touch it on the surface. I don't know the right grammar to use there, but I rubbed my egg yolk on it, and I used my toothpick to create some holes on the meat pie just to make sure the air escapes quickly while it's cooking. That way the meat pie will not break easily, but allow the air to escape. And of course, let the inside cook very well as it goes into the oven. Typically, I cooked at about 350, 370 Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes. But I think what matters most is keep shaking your meat pie until it's done. As you guys can see, my meat pie is done now. Don't let it to get to golden brown before you bring it out. Leave it to get to golden brown, but not dark brown. But because once you bring out the meat pie, it continues to cook for some time. So be mindful of how long you leave it in the oven before you bring it out. Our meat pie is ready. You can see my good, sweet, good looking laugh here to show you I've done a good job. And this is what the meat pie look like, guys. I just opened one right now. Can you see the steam coming from the inside? It's very nice, very tasty, very yummy, and I bet you will like this. Look at these two I have in this small plate. I bet you want to have this one yourself. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I hope you get to try this on a good weekend at home. I love you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye.